Alright, floors. It's going to be hard to convince with you that the floors are even and entire with the trapped over the dedicated how to expert for the Autodesk Revit the architectural software. Well, floors are easy. The devoting entire trap with the because we need to address a lot of aspects with the floor, placing a floor slab, building a floor by layers, splitting the floor in materials, pitching a floor to the floor drain, creating a shaft with the openings, placing a floor slab, with adding a floor with a model with a quite simple with the Revit the architect with a truly modeling of the floor with the means with the include with the structure with the finish with the create with your floor. When cutting the section through the floor, you get to the almost perfect representation of the floor system, how the release the adjacent geometry, such as the wall, floor, of course, are more large slabs of the concrete. Therefore, in this chapter, you will be introduced with the creating material, whether we learn how to, with the pitch of these materials, with the floor range, examine how with the create with the slope and slabs as well. First area we'll explore with the how to place with the slab with the interior model. With the simple sound with the must have with the following certain step with the outline with the next with the learned up to this point with the Revit architecture. We now have to add items to its way. To the items that way. If the Revit wants you to add them, you'll probably generate with the errors or worse inaccuracy in your model. Creating slab at the beginning of the open file along with the didn't complete chapter 5 of the dimension annotating with a web put page. Objective of the following procedure to create a floor slab to be placed in the model. Project browser, go to level 1 floor plan, zoom in the west wing with the architectural tab of the floor button shown figure 561. Switch to the property dialog box, make sure the floors are in current selection. Shown figure 6.2 and upright over the dialog, click edit type buttons, and you're now accessing type of the property with this change with the effect of every type of the floor entire model. Click rename button shown figure 6.4, click the floor system 6-inch slab on grade. Alright. In the middle of the edit is some of the dialog box, large spreadsheet type field. This is divided into rows and come with the rows with a row defined with the structural component and with the boundary above with the below with the structure row and the interested here. The structure row is divided into columns. Click with the material column. Structure row is shown figure and shown 6.6. A small button appears with the material cell with the button indicate with the will give it the menu with a click of the button of the material browser. You can choose the material from the menu, scroll down to you arrive with the concrete cast in place gray or select it. Make sure the graphics tabs with the current and shown figure 6.7. You can display with the two different hatches, sand hatch which is visible for the four floor plans and concrete hatch which is visible for sections. These hatches are filling regions that designate specific materials graphically. Make sure concrete cast in place gray is selected. Click OK. Back of the edit assembly dialog thickness column is currently directly right below the material column. Current value in the structure row is 1 foot 0 inches. Click into the cell, change value to 6 inches. Show the material browser in figure 6.7. Click OK, click again, go get back to the model. Notice the slab type of the created with the place an instance into the model. Notice modify create floor boundary tab section mode. Now proceed to sketch the slab in place. Sketch the slab. You adjust the Revit wants to proceed with the create the floor with the boundary tab. Basically limited to the choices provided in this menu. Note not to fear though. You should have plenty of choices, but you still need to get a feel of how Revit works. Here's what needs to happen. You draw the perimeter of the slab and into the model with the basic slab on grade. You'll pour on concrete to the inside finished faces over the wall. You'll worry about the control joint between the wall and slab at this point. Picking the wall. The best way to add slab to you with the pick walls button as much as possible. Figure 6.8. In doing so with the tail of the Revit, the edge of slab needs to move if this wall move. The pick the walls is the default option. So if the picking the walls, ensure the edge of the slab will move and the walls move. With the boundary lines under the draw, and then this little button right here. Let's start sketching the slab. With the modify with the create the floor boundary tab, click with the pick wall at the bottom of the shown figure 6A, but it isn't already picked. With the pick walls tool running, however, the move the mouse over the inside of the face of the wall becomes highlighted. You're sure on the inside of the wall, pick it figure 6.9. With the inside face of the wall pick, you need to move on to the next wall. Pick the inside face of the north wall. Notice that you pick the wall with the magenta sketch line appears on the line inside face of the walls. Another indicator telling you whether you are on the correct side of the wall. This first line has to with the parallel lines on each side. This indicating the slab direction for the structural decking. Keeping them picking the walls as shown in figure 6.10. You need to have a continuous loop, no gaps or no overlaps. Apply some basic modify commands as well. With the clean the lower right hand corner trim command, bottom of the line with the drive with a curve with the split element command. Make sure with the delete inner segment bottom, then select with the option bar. After you picked with the perimeter over the west wing, click finish, edit, modify with the create floor bound tab shown figure 611. It must be a good idea to check your model with the 3D after making floors. Just make sure that nothing went wrong. I constantly have to do that. After you finish the floor, you have plenty of opportunity to practice adding floors in the model. You need to add a floor to the corridor as well with the west wing file with the steps. Zoom on the corridor and show in figure 612. On the architect tab, start with the floor command, modify create floor boundary tab, click pick walls button, uncheck the extended into the wall, pick 3 north walls corridor. Remember to keep the blue line inside face. Alright, Revit may now let you pick wall to add east edge of the slab of the doof of the magenta. Go either with the core center line or with the opposite shape of the Y. At this point, with the pick line button to the modify create floor boundary tab shown figure 613. Pick the face of the east wall shown figure 614. Draw a panel, click the pick walls button, click pick south corridor walls. Remember to keep the magenta line instead of the corridor. Pick west wall with the quarter time with the wind to be sure of the magenta line on the left of the wall with the ensure of the two slabs meet. If not, you may need to move the line manually. Now that you understand the process of adding sketch line with the model, you can start to look into how to clean up the sketch as you can finish. I use it for the trim to clean up the sketch. With the lines placed, you make sure that you do not have any gaps or overlaps. To fix these gaps or overlaps, you have the basic modify with the command chapter 5. The each file with a giant gap with the bottom overlap with the top of the command. Usually here is the trim. Pick trim extend with the corner button with the modify panel is shown at the top of the figure 616. Click with the portions of the two lines. We want to keep this. Remove the excess from the corner with the corner successfully trimmed. Check with the finish edit mode. When Revit allow with the finish to sketch your west wing and a quarter, she'll have the continuous slab underneath them and show in figure 617. It's time to add slab underneath the east wing. Go ahead and try it on your own. Look at these directions if you get lost. Zoom on the east wing, architectural clad floor button, modify create floor boundary, pick walls button, pick the exterior walls of the east wing, trim any gaps overlap with the current in the corner shown with the figure 618. Also pay special attention to the radial entry can be tricky. Click finish edit mode. Now that you have a nice slab on the first floor, you need to add some more slabs to the rest of the floor. Tricky with the slab of the upper level is that must extend into the core of the walls. This is where the Revit can get sticky. Follow along with the next section. Looks to work the issue out together. Building a floor by layers. As mentioned previously, section of the term layer does not equate to assign AutoCAD layer. It does not have the equate to layer materials used with the design floor system. Create with the floor system, or rather the architectural issue to do it with the mindset and how the floor actually constructed. You actually specify the material of the floor will stop at the exterior of the wall, which will pass through the core to the core. In this section, you will build an experience. Build on your experience of creating a floor with a concrete slab in place. You start adding materials to create the floor finish. Adding materials. Objective with creating a floor system structural finish material. You also design on the floor. Interrupt the exterior framing while letting the brick facade pass with the grade to carpet. Let it get started. Project browser. Go to level 2 floor plan. Remember not to go to level 2 ceiling plan. View control bar. Located bottom of the view window. Be sure the detail level is signed. Set the Find Architectural tab. Floor button. Property dialogs. Edit type button. Click duplicate. Click new floor. 6-inch concrete with a 1-inch torso for metrics. Click OK in structure row. Click edit button. Show figure 620. You're now edit assembly dialog box as you were previous procedure. The object is to add 1 inch of the terrazzo floor to the top of the 6-inch concrete. Adding a layered additional material, you must understand how to edit and assemble the dialog box broken down because you add the material to the top of the slab. You need to click above the concrete, insert the new layer as file in layers field with a 3 row with each row with a corresponding number. Click the 1. This top row that reads with the core boundary layers above the wrap. Under the layers field with a click insert button shown figure 621. New layers added. The field is now divided into columns. The first column is a function which is currently to set with the structure. This is the drop down box containing other available functions. Click with the drop down arrow, select finish 1. Click the material cell with the new layer 1. Click the button. In the material browser, type terrazzo, shown in figure 623. Terrazzo material appears. When it does, select it, click OK. Select down, double click terrazzo. Find terrazzo material in the top portion. Select it, click OK. Thickness columns enter 1 inch. Imperial users make sure to type 1 inch, 1 foot. At the far right, rows of the layers field with a variable to check boxes. Select the variable to structure row shown in figure 625. This enables you to slope the top of the slab if need be. Only if the layer that is set with the variable will actually slope. Any layer that is on the top of the variable layer will be pitched. At the bottom of the Edit Assembly dialog box, click Preview button. Graphic preview of the floor appears as in a sectional view. See figure 625. Click OK to get back to the model. Click great. Now you have a floor to finish material on it. Now you place the next new floor in the model. Remember that you're on the second floor. When you place a slab, you want to extend it directly into the wall core. To do so, the following: click the pick wall buttons on the draw panel. Pick every exterior wall in the east wing except for the radial wall. Start picking walls as shown in figure 626. Do not pick the radial wall at the east entry. On the draw panel, click the line button. Draw a line endpoint with the magneto line to the north wall, the east entry to the endpoint of the magneto line on the south wall. On Modify Create Floor Boundary tab, click Edit Finish Mode. Revit begins asking questions. First, ask you if you want to test the walls to go up to level 2 on the bottom of the floor. You want to do this. This cuts interior walls down to meet with the bottom of the floor. Any change of the floor thickness will alter for the top of the walls. Click Yes, as shown in figure 628. Text message pertains to the exterior of the wall. Revit asks whether you would like to cut the section out of the walls wherever the slab is intersecting. In this case, you do so. Click Yes, and when the message box is shown in 629. With the second floor in place, you can now edit to the floors above. To do so, you can use the copy paste align feature. Use the chapter 3 creating use to try to do this vary on your own. Do not remember how. If you skip chapter 3, follow these steps. Select floor level 2 if it isn't still selected. Easy to select the floor at the east edge. On Modify Floor tabs, click the tab to the clipboard button on clipboard panel shown in figure 630. Go to default 3D view shown in figure 631. From paste layout of the clipboard panel modify tab, click on the line selected levels as shown in figure 632. Select level. The dialog box appears. You will choose the level to which we want to paste the floor. Choose level 3, 4, and 5. Control select more than one level. Click OK. The floor or paste the specified level as shown in figure 633. Notice that the 5th floor level isn't joined to any walls. This is because when you pasted the floor to this level, Revit didn't prompt you to cut overlapping geometry from the exterior walls. To fix this, the following step. All attached after the floor has been pasted. Select the 5th level floor as shown in figure 634. Modify floor tabs. Click Edit Boundary button. Model panel. Modify floors. Edit Boundary tab. Click and finish edit mode. And then it shows... Click Yes, attach walls that go up to the floor's bottom. Yes, cut the overlapping volume out of the walls. Show that the walls are being cut by the slab. Repeat steps 1 through 5 for floors 4 and 3. Save the model. Not too bad for the full building floor place, but now you drill into these floors literally. See how you can make them perform to your specifications. Your new task is to create different floor materials for a few specific areas, such as the restrooms, which are pitched for the restroom floors to floor drains. Alright, splitting floor materials. Floor that includes slab. You have a single material, say with a vinyl composition tile with the entire surface because of the problem in the restroom. But yet, suppose the floor is carpeted with carpet that never seemed to perform well around a toilet. Add an alternative material. Go over the procedure. Create with a new material layer with the first floor. Absorb over the new material for the restrooms. Draw over the project manager. Go to level 1. Floor plan. Zoom in the area. East wing similar to the notice phone. 635. Draw over the right left section. Window around the corner of the building is shown 635. Modify multi-select tab. Click the filter button. The filter dialog box. Check the none button shown in figure 636. Select floors options. Click OK. With the floor selected, click edit type in the property dialog box. Click rename. Call for 6-inch slab on grade with 1-inch finish. Click OK. Edit button. Structure rows are shown in figure 637. And edit the assembly dialog box. Click 1 on the left in the core boundary item and above the structure layer shown in figure 638. Click the insert button. Click finish 1 for the function drop down list. Material cell. Click the button. Start the carpet 1, click OK, give it the material thickness 1 inch, structure 1 row, variable checkbox shown in figure 639, click OK twice, press OK exit. Now have you experienced adding a new material layer to the floor? You've done it twice in the chapter. You can specify the different material for various rooms. Splitting and painting, and a new material to the floor in 2-part procedure with a specified alternate material in the area. First split the floor's face, and then you can add or paint any desired material to that area. Lay object for the next text. Proceed with the add alternate material to the rest and follow along. Zoom in the laboratory north over the corridor on the geometry panel. Modified tab split face button shown figure 640. Move the cursor in the laboratory area shown figure 641. Notice the little cube on your cursor with the cursor over the wall with the shown figure 641 should get you with a tool tipping to you that you're directly over the floor when you're indicating the pick of the floor. So there's a split face button located in the geometry panel in the modify tab. After you select the floor, you need to draw the three lines around the inside face of the laboratory wall. Draw the panel over the modify split face. Create boundary tab. Make sure the line button is selected. Draw three lines showing the figure 642. You may have to trim and extend the lines, and then it shows 7 on the modify split face. Create boundary tab. Click finish edit mode. Laboratory area should now be split, although it appears not to happen. And you can see it. And the next series steps will change the material of the region. At this point, it will become obvious for the different material. Floor is split at a time with the new add material to the floor. The procedure is almost like adding hatches to area with the AutoCAD. Here are simple geometry panel modify split face tab. Click paint button shown figure 643. From the material list, select the tile mosaic gray. For the menu is shown figure 644. With the material browser still on the screen, move the cursor over the region. Just create the notice of the material icon next to your cursor shown figure 645. Tooltip identifying face region. When you see with the perimeter small region created around the inside laboratory, pick a spot with the area fills with the new material. Click on the down material of the browser. Same thing in the laboratory south with the container. If you get stuck, go back through the steps. Save your metal. Next, create a picked floor situation. In some cases, this is easy procedure. In others, it isn't. Pitching a floor to a floor drain. Sure, it's responsible for the plumbing engineer specify where what floor drains are usually generally responsible. The architect specify when they use the floor like floor drain. Then, as that being said, let's move to creating a pitch floor area with a restroom because you have the 5 floors to which work. Well, let's go to the second floor, starting pitch of some of the slabs. You have to proceed to add points over the slab in order to pitch the drain to a drain. Project browser, double click the level 2 floor plan. Make sure you aren't in the level 2 ceiling plan. Zoom in the laboratory area shown figure 647. Select the floor, modify floor tab. Show several choices. Shape editing panel. Click add split line button. On options bar, click chain button. Draw lines finish inside of the face of the laboratory. As always, there is no gap overlaps. When the split lines are drawn, isolate the laboratory area with the rest of the floor. Now you can pitch the floor in an area without affecting the rest of the floor. Pitch will extend only as far as the split lines. To create a drop in the floor, follow these steps. Go to the architectural tab, model lines button. Draw a line from midpoint over the restroom right wall to the left at 3 foot 0 inches as shown in figure 648. Press escape twice. Select the floor. Remember the filter dialog box. Unmodify floor tabs. Add point button is shown in figure 649. Pick the end point over the line you just drew. Press escape once. This puts the modify sub-elements mode, which you're now in this mode with the icon next to your pointer shown figure 650. Pick a point, just place it on the model. The point turns red. Blue elevation appears as you know with the blue item modifiable with the click 0 foot 0 inches value. Change it to negative 1 inch. Imperial uses negative 1 inch. Enter. Press enter. Revit drops the area of the floor and adds the slope lines as you draft them in. Press escape twice, delete the line you drew with this guideline shape with model figure 651. Does your floor plan look like this? If not, go back and see where you went wrong. Repeat the steps to add pitch, laboratory south with the corridor, shape of the model, notice, shape of the experiment with the creating, placing floors, this roll with the pitching of the floor, and specific area. Let's look at one more item, shaft openings. To create a shaft opening, create a shaft opening, just create a void through your model. This void, however, can conform to the walls are set in the model with the elevator shaft walls, for instance, of the defined outside of the edge of your shaft opening. You'll notice that the floors you add with the model with their indiscriminately running and interpreted straight through the shafts. You need to void the floor. Also, a good thing about creating a shaft opening is that you can create another floor for the shaft that will be cut out automatically. First, you need to create 2 or more levels of subterranean level to TO for footing and penthouse level to the extent of the elevator shaft with the following step. The project browser south elevation dating panel architectural clad level button. Draw a panel, click the pick lines button, set an offset of 10 foot and 0 inches as shown in figure 653. However, the cursor over level 1, make sure alignment level line is below level 1. Alignment level, pick level 1. Pick now have a level of 10 foot, negative 10 foot, 0 inches. Modify the button, select the panel to terminate the command. Pick level is set with a negative 10 foot, 0 inches remain to TO footing. Click yes if the Revit prompts you to rename corresponding views. The next step is to select with the TM elevator shaft wall with modify their property for the bottoms, extend with the down with the top of the footing. Go to the 3D view, select all the east entry elevator CMU walls, remember to press and hold the control key as you select the walls. Property dialog box constraints, category set base constraint of the TO footing is shown in figure 654. Click and apply at the bottom, establish correct level of the item to add the shaft. Go to level 1 floor plan. Know that it doesn't matter which floor when you're placing the shaft opening. On Architectural tab, click the shaft button opening panel shown in figure 655. On modifying creating shaft opening sketch tab, click pick wall shown in figure 656. Pick wall shown in figure 656 knows that you can have more than one shaft opening in the same command. Use line button on the draw panel with the draw of a line across the inside face of the exterior walls. Use the trim command to clean up any of the corners. Mirror the lines you just drew up with the other shaft. When the perimeter is established at the time chose the floor, this opening will extend with just because you pick CMU walls doesn't mean a base over the top height, but it has been established for all of the steps. Property dialog box, make sure the shaft opening is selected as shown in figure 657. Property dialog base constraint, the TO footing, top constraint up to the level roof, the top offset 1 foot 0 inches, keep the roof from having two giant squares holes in it. Click apply figure 657 show setting on modify create shaft opening sketch tab. Click symbolic line button. This will allow you to sketch an open graphic into the shaft. Draw an X in both openings as shown in figure 658. Click Finish Edit Mode. The floor is now voided from the openings. Go to the 3D view looking down the shaft. The wide opening is shown in figure 659. Symbolic lines will disappear in the floor plans only. Notice that you now have pitch rule. You can begin using Revit for this unique capabilities after you prepare to move to the next chapter. We'll focus on creating roofs. Or your experience. Now you can add a floor to your model using buildings footprints as guides and picking walls and draw lines. Additional floors to higher levels using copy and paste line method, quickly repeating geometry up through the building, and specifically alternate material to different parts of the floor. Specifically display split face command in conjunction with the paint material functions. Split floor NC segments to add additional points to the negative elevation, pitching the floor drains, creating a shaft opening that will cut out any of the new floor slab. Use symbolic lines with the shaft opening to indicate the opening. Chapter 7, Roofs.